Hey guys, how's it going? Blades of God here from Hammer Bros Gaming, coming at you with our newest video in our Master Escape series for Gears 5. Today we're bringing you the Onslaught. You can see with me I have Pyro and Mr. Beardsley. Beardsley's running a Marksman class, Pyro is running Infiltrator, and I am running Protector. This is a fairly easy map if you play it smart. The first half of the map is going to be sitting on a lot of turrets. Second half of the map is going to be doing a lot of running. The Protector class is fairly important because of his bubble shield ability and his melee bleed. And I'll go over the other classes in just a minute. But first, let's look at our difficulty modifiers. We're going to be having poison drones. So any drone variant leaves a poison puddle on death. Longer recharge means our ultimate abilities take longer to recharge. Ghost heavies, the heavy units like Scions and DR1's cloak when they get close to us. And shock grenadiers, so attacks from grenadiers is going to cause a shock chain between our allies, along with a few of the everyday master difficulty modifiers like more health, more lethal, and Iron Man. One thing to take note of is that faster venom is not on this map, so the venom is not going to be pushing us, which is good because we will be spending some time sitting on some turrets. The important reason that we have Marksman and Infiltrator along is that Infiltrator is going to be getting a lot of shotguns right off the bat and does some really good bleed damage. And the Infiltrator is important because, I'm sorry, not the Infiltrator, the Marksman's important because we're going to be having some very long-range battles in which we're going to want to hold enemies at bay, and the Marksman is perfectly custom-made for that. So right off the bat, we're going to leave the spawn room, come straight ahead. We're going to have two turrets set up here, two troikas set up, and you're going to want to have one of each of your allies jump on one turret, and then we probably should have had our Marksman and our Infiltrator, so Beardsley and Pyro jump on these, with me being the melee class, go down to the right. You can see on the mini-map here, there's a path to the right and a ammo room on the left, and what you're going to do is basically you're either going to have poppers that have shock nades or poppers that have explosive grenades. It's, in my opinion, better to get the shock grenades because you can kind of chain together very long chain reactions of poppers just detonating and taking out other poppers and making this huge huge electric field that is going to damage and slow down a lot of the enemies coming through. And then what you want is your other ally who is not on a turret to be down on the right there trying to hold off the enemies from getting to the guys on the turrets. One thing to be aware of is that across the way you can see right now we're shooting, or Pyro shooting, at the snipers who are all the way across the map here. They are going to take pot shots at whoever's on the troikas, so try to take a few shots at them to take them out. You see Pyro just dropped one. But your big focus needs to be on keeping the DR units and the shock juvies away from the troikas. You can see there we got a couple of DRs that snuck up on us. Things started to fall apart here. I jumped off my turret and went over to revive Beardsley, who got downed, and meleeed down a DR1 unit. My bleed damage took him out. You're going to see it take out another one right here. And one of the reasons this sounds weird, I'm not going crazy, I'm using the perspective of Pyro, but I am playing Blades of God's character, so I'm actually in the footage playing Dizzy, but we're looking at Pyro's footage because my recording software wasn't working properly when we did this run. So if it sounds like I'm saying I did one thing but you're not seeing it on screen, that is because we are looking at a different perspective and I'm giving you the kind of rundown from the perspective of the Protector. But anyway, what we're going to do here, you can see I, being the Protector, Dizzy, went over and checked the turret to make sure there was no more enemies coming. The Infiltrator came into this ammo room, picked up an overkill from one of those DR units and is loading up on ammo. And I actually am sitting on the turret taking pot shots at the sniper. You see a bullet just went whizzing by my head. And I'm trying to take out those snipers so we can advance and get our Marksman a long shot. Pyro's coming back here to try to help me out. He's seeing that we've got some drones down bottom here, so instead of engaging with guns, we're just going to use the troika since they have infinite ammo. He's taking a few shots at enemies across the way here. I'm trying to mark them as best I can, but we keep marking the long shots instead. So not a big deal. At this point, once you get down to just having the snipers on the other side of the map, you can feel free to go ahead and advance. Just be very careful, use your cover. Those snipers are going to down you in one shot. And like I said, the faster Venom not being on is a real bonus here because we started this pretty lengthy fight right outside of the spawn room. And even after all that time, you can see that the bad or the deadly Venom has not even made it to our Trika positions yet. So you've got plenty of time. Scout out all the ammo you can. You can see Pyro here is picking up hammer bursts. And I believe Beardsley and myself are picking up hammer bursts as well. Beardsley is leaving himself an open spot for his longshot. And gather up grenades and everything else you can from all those dead enemies. Then make your way up this path to where the snipers were sitting. There's another ammo room right behind where the snipers were. You can see Beardsley got his long shot now. Come in here to get more ammo and fill up the weapons that you did pick up. Ammo is not in short supply in this map, so feel free to grab and expend whatever you need for ammo. They have turrets stationed. The map is set up so there's turrets stationed at just about every major battle point. So you're not even going to be using your ammo all that much. And like I said, the second half of this map is basically a sprint to the end. So you don't do a lot of shooting with guns, it's just a lot of shooting with turrets. So again, don't worry about the Venom, don't worry about rushing. You can take your time, decide who wants to grab what. That's what we're doing right now. We're calling out what there are for grenades and for weapon pickups. And we're just taking our time because we're not really going for a high score or anything. We're just taking our time to make sure that everyone's loaded up as much as we can for ammo before we advance to the next section. So as we continue down this path, there is only one path to take. It's a very linear escape map. We come to this next battle room. We have one Trika, and you can see I, as Blades of God, jumped on that Trika. We had our infiltrator come up top here to the right, and you can see he's right next to another ammo room. And he's basically going to hold this area. Pyro, the infiltrator, is going to hold this area by himself by taking out all of these poppers. You can see there's just a line of them coming. And what this is going to do is create a chain reaction of poppers killing poppers. Works out really well for him. And the whole time this is going on, I'm sitting on the turret. You can see on our information feed on the bottom left there that I'm on the turret taking down enemies. With the turret, Beardsley's doing his best to snipe out enemies. Things got a little hairy here. Beardsley had just gone down. Pyro got down by one popper that got by us. So I hopped off my turret, came up here to revive Pyro. But this is a very safe method. You can sit on this corner, and as the infiltrator, as long as you don't get shocked like that, and you can just shotgun these enemies to death. They come right at you, they can't really get a good angle on you, and you can blind fire with your overkill and do plenty of damage to take them out. Again, during this whole time, I'm doing my best to use the Trika to keep the enemies at bay. Beardsley is now jumping on the Trika to take over for me because I came up here to help Pyro. Again, running the Protector class, I have really good melee and bleed damage, and using that bubble shield made it so the DR1s can only melee at us. And that's one of the great things about the Protector class is that the Bubble Shield ultimate doesn't sound like it's super effective, but when you have enemies that have mulchers or tri-shots and you drop that right next to them, they're going to come up and have to melee at you, and you can melee them through the Bubble Shield, and it pretty much negates most of their DPS. So when used correctly, that can be a huge game changer and kind of turn the tide if you have two of your allies who are downed. So you can see we're taking our time. These snipers are giving us a little bit of a hard time here. And one of the snipers just sniped Beardsley. I actually went in and opened up that ammo room to see what was in there, not realizing that Beardsley was down in the Venom and that Pyro was up here trying to take out snipers by himself. I ran back. You could see that happening on the mini-map. I ran back and revived Beardsley, who was playing as our sniper, and then I decided that I was going to push and take these snipers out myself. It's one of the great things about playing the Protector class, as well as that when it comes to fighting enemies with sniper rifles, they don't have a lot of close-range defense, and they can't get a lot of rapid-fire shots off, even if they're using an M-bar. So I like to be able to close on them, and it's really good for cleaning out sniper nests if you can get up close and personal with them. So, at this point, we've cleaned out all the enemies in this area, and we are now in this next ammo room. You can see we've got the early Venom kind of swimming around us here, but none of the deadly venom has caught up to us yet. So again, we're just looking at what we have for weapons, for ammo, deciding who's going to take what, who needs to take what. Pyro's already completely loaded up, so he headed back out the door early, and now we're getting ready to advance to the next section. So this has gone fairly smooth so far. Not a lot in the way of trouble or hiccups. You need to be able to communicate well, but that goes for just about any of these escape maps. You want to make sure that you communicate with your teammates and let them know if you get downed. I know with us, a lot of times one of us would get downed and just assume that our allies would know that we were downed, and we wouldn't. And that would cause us to fail a map because we'd have no idea that our allies were down. So make sure you communicate. Alright, so now we're on the stairs. There is a trika. You're going to want to come all the way down to this trika, have one person jump on it, and just focus on this corner. You can see I'm ripping into all of the juvies as they come up the stairs. Pyro did a very good job of sitting on this corner, trying to offer support using his flame grenades. And you're going to use a shotgun for anything that gets past the trika and the pool of fire and electricity that's sitting on this stairwell. It works out really well. The DR1 units don't really shoot up around the corner, or they don't take their angle shots very well. And once they come around that corner, they're stunned in the electricity, so I'm able to lay into them with the trika. Pyro's able to lay into him with his overkill to get that additional damage and that bleed damage on. And Beardsley is trying his best to offer support using a tri-shot at first, and then he switched over to his bolt-hawk and his longshot. Like I said, this doesn't take a lot of ammo or a lot of shooting from your standard firearms. It's mostly done with the trikas in this first act, so it is a lot of sort of sitting around and camping, but at the same time, it's super effective. You can see I just got down there by a drone who was taking pot shots at me, and I wasn't able to get to him fast enough. Thankfully, Pyro was right there with the assist. But there's not much else to say about this engagement. You've got a very, very narrow field, or a narrow path in which the enemies can advance on you. They're going to keep coming up the stairs, so you can keep taking them out with the trika. The enemies will not come in behind you. And again, as much as we were taking our time with the ammo rooms and stuff, you can see that we're still ahead of that. We're not really being pushed all that much by this deadly venom. It's just starting to catch up to us now. So if you're trying to hustle and you're really making an effort to be fast, you could definitely have a much better time than us. But again, because we weren't going for a high score, or we weren't going for even a great score, we were just looking to finish the map. We didn't rush, and this worked out really well for us. So when you come to the bottom of the stairs, you're going to come to this room right before the safe room, and you've got, I think it's 4 or 5 drones down here. I took out 1 or 2 with the melee. Pyro took out a couple with the overkill, and Beardsley took out a couple with the triple melee, which that's something important to know as well. Not necessarily on this map so much, but on other maps. If you're using a controller, hit B to melee, B a second time, and then press and hold B a third time to execute a stunned enemy. That's called the triple melee execution. Very important to know in escape maps, or in escape mode. Alright, so after the safe room, we did just skip the safe room because there's not a whole lot to say about it. Divvy up the ammo that's in there and just keep going on. When you come out of the safe room, immediately start running. You're going to want to follow this path that we take. Don't engage any enemies unless you absolutely have to, and this is why I ran Protector and I'm in the lead. If I just melee an enemy twice and keep running, they will bleed out before they can really retaliate. So you're going to keep following this path. You can see we're running a pretty tight team here. We're running in a line. My teammates fell behind me a little bit here, but just follow the path that we're on, and you really shouldn't have to fight too many enemies. We came to this spot here. I knew the enemies were going to try to circle around behind us. I dropped my bubble shield, and you can see we got a couple enemies firing at us, but again, we're just going to book it right on out of here, and you're already at the exit. This second act is all about speed. There's a trika way in the back of the helipad. I was trying to get one of my allies to jump on it, but neither of them did. So I went out back, I hopped on the trika, and honestly, you get out here so quickly and activate the door so quickly that the game is still spawning in your enemies from earlier in the second act. And you're going to see we hardly have any enemies show up for the door hold at the end here. We get a few poppers once the door is halfway closed. Pyro kind of stepped in the way of some Trika shots, so he took some damage. But honestly, we had a handful of poppers show up, and that was it. So probably the easiest map that we've run. Pretty straightforward. I hope this guide helped you guys out. But that's all there is to say about it. So until next time, good luck. I hope this helped you, and I will see you around. Take care, and bye-bye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe. You can also check us out on Twitch at Hammer Bros Gaming. I am Blades of God, and until next time, have a great day everyone.